Matters, a miniature and painting podcast.
Right, everyone, welcome to the SMC special. Of course, it's me, Jamie Hupper, and Arnel Lazaro.
Hello. Good afternoon already.
Depending on, well, I suppose it's 1:30 where you are, right? Or 1:21.
Well, if you are in the US, then it's not.
Yeah, that's true. Good day, everyone. Well, also, it's totally dependent on when you listen to it as well. So, yes, Lionel is not here, as you may have noticed. And that's because he's at work. So we are doing the unusual situation of recording during a weekday.
Yeah, we have some post-event thoughts that we can explore
Exactly.
before the full episode on Sunday.
The real episode. This is like a Christmas treat or an Easter special.
Yeah, exactly.
Except that it does count as... I quite like it when TV shows do like season 0 and episode 1. And, you know, they're already on... Or they'll do like season 3, episode 0. Or...
Yeah, it's like a episode 4.5.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, right. I could have called it that. But, well, in fact, I still can. I could just like change this text to... It wouldn't be too difficult. Look, done. But... I mean, no one cares about the episode number, really, do they? So, SMC, for those of you who don't know, which would be interesting if you did tune in, is basically there's, I guess, 2 parts. The first part is the painting competition, and the second part is retail. So, to sum up, a very large painting competition. I think there were 2,500 entries this year, and I don't even know how much retail. 2 halls of retail, basically.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything as even close to it in Europe. It's a lot
for the scale.
Yeah.
Which is not what scale model challenge means, though, is it? Because obviously,
probably not.
Well, they would have started without it. I think they wouldn't have had such scale before it, and I think a large part of it also is the social side. So. I think I didn't start going to events until I had friends, basically. And one of the friends was like, I'm going to this. And then in your head, you're like, what the hell is that? You don't want to vocalize it, although I think I probably did. But yeah, so it's a hotel, it's an event, and it's retail. So I think this year's show, how can we describe it in a few sentences, do you think?
I think it was... Well, obviously it depends on how you live it, and everyone lives it differently. Some people may be super excited because it's their first or second show, and other people can be just tired of life and not care about it,
but still go.
But still go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who could be that. I think in my case, I felt there was a bit less excitement, but I think it might be because of that, because I didn't have that excitement. For me, it was just a job convention where I went to work. And that's something that actually relates a lot with you guys, with my friends, because you were there for pleasure and I was there for work. So we had different perceptions, different motives and ways to spend the time. So I think we lived the event pretty differently.
Well, I agree completely. And I also think that for myself, I went for work, and not money work, but Mini Matters. So like, I think I realized it when I sat down on the stall, Dragonhead Models, Arnel Miniatures, Beyond, and some other one. I'm just plugging there, obviously. Like, I think when I sat down there, day 2, I was also sad that it wasn't 3 days. I think that was a big sadness of mine, actually. Mostly because I see it as a holiday away from everybody that I love so dearly. I do love my family. That's a joke. But it is really nice to get away. But yeah, I would have liked 3 days, but I completely forgot what I was going to say. Models, I was there. I was
just sat there.
Ah, yeah, brilliant. Thank you. So day 2, second half, I sat down when you guys needed a break, and obviously I rearranged the stall. And then Lionel was like, I can see your ADD now. You just can't sit still, can you? He's really camp in this impression as well. And I don't think it was ADD. I think it was, but it wasn't like I couldn't sit still. Anyway, then I sat there and spoke to everyone. Like, I think mostly you guys came over like from the Discord. So Larking, Blue Fangs, the new girl, which I can't pronounce, Yvette, I mean a Y and a V and an E. How are you meant to pronounce that as an Englishman?
Yvette? It's not that difficult.
Oh, is it Yvette?
Yvette, yeah.
Oh, you pronounce the Y with it I see. Because in English it's Yvette. But Yvette. Anyway.
I see.
Yeah. So there were a lot of people coming over, and it was actually really nice to just sit down and talk. So to go back to the setting the scene or explaining how the show was, for me there was a lot more hype around World Model Expo, and I think that is normal. That makes sense because it's like once every 4 years and it's random locations, so it was a massive thing to have it there. But I think a huge thing for us was none of us were entering except for yourself, and you didn't paint that to enter. So the build up, I think last year, like Albert had been painting it for 18 months. I had the Zerman, which I painted for 3 years before. Lionel obviously putting his heart and soul out there. I can't remember what you entered, Lionel. Oh no.
On World Model Expo, what did they enter? No idea.
We're bad people. We're equally as bad though. You're worse because you painted it, but then again, not really because you do it for a job. It's a tricky one. But yeah, so I think that has a lot to do with the excitement. But I think generally everyone talking to other people, they were more excited than we four were, ironically. But then that goes back to like when we go into topic of the week properly, because officially this isn't topic of the week yet, I don't think. Which is kind of weird. Where's topic of the week? Topic of the week. Yeah, we're not. It goes on longer than I even myself remember. So we do have topic of the week. We've got Would You Rather. We've got the Q&A, or Ask Our Now, as I like to call it, even though someone's asked me a question here. So Q&A sort of needs to stay because, you know, if someone asks me one question, it's not Ask Our Now, is it?
Yeah.
It's like ask, and it's not Ask the Artist either. And then we also have maybe Fast as a Race Car. I'm not sure. We'll see. Probably not.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it doesn't take long, does it?
It doesn't.
Yeah, takes long in the heart. So now we can dive into topic of the week properly. Scale model challenge, I guess. For you, the experiences was, I suppose you alluded to it already.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I went to sell, basically to be at my stand with Bella miniatures and Arnau miniatures and Dragon Head models. That was my main focus of that weekend. I didn't want to enter at the start because I didn't even care for it. I brought the piece that I brought because I had finished it and I was happy with it and I wanted people to see it. But yeah, my main focus was definitely with the brands, go with the brands and just put the new releases out there.
Yeah, true. Basic work.
And in that sense, but 100% work. In that sense, it was nice. I think people reacted well. It was slightly slower than World Model Expo, which was completely understandable because that was after 3 years of not having, or 2 years of not having any event. So people was ready to spend big bucks, and maybe in this one was more standard, right? So, but anyway, it was not that bad at all. The only thing that I would change maybe is the preparation of that. Like instead of carrying everything, sending it, even if it's more expensive, I think I learned that it's the only thing that this brings is you have to send all your stuff between the 10. So in this case, between Monday and Friday.
Yeah, it's a
So
tight
outside
window.
that,
Yeah,
you can't.
yeah.
So it's weird because I actually tried to send a box, but they started to ask me things, and yeah, basically I was pretty sure that I was about to miss the delivery date. So I was like, why bother?
Yeah.
And let's carry it in a suitcase.
Yeah, it's an
So
interesting
well,
thing. Like the traveling, I suppose. Like I think that might have an effect on how people also perceive the show. Because I was talking to John Keys and he drove, so it was 8 hours from the UK. He lives in St Albans, right? Um, and then I was talking about how good our rental car was for Golden Demon, how it stayed in the lanes, and he was like, "Yeah, my
hmm
car's." So he doesn't have a Tesla; he's just got like a Nissan, but it's fairly new. And he's like, yeah, it
yeah,
self drives basically. It doesn't actually self drive, but it stays in the lane. It auto brakes. It auto accelerates when there's clear space in the road.
nice.
Uh, and then I think an 8 hour drive, because the contrast between, was it just Nottingham, so just a 3 hour drive? Didn't we do a 4 hour drive in a good car?
No, it was in Manchester.
I see. Oh, was it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
That was this year's, right? So having a car that drives automatic. Anyway, I think a plane is a bit exhausting. But then, if you don't come the next day, if you come the day before, it's not so bad. But yeah, I suppose this is too specific in,
Well,
yeah.
in fact, it's funny because Eindhoven from London, and I know this is specific to us, but Eindhoven from London is very very short trip. It's like 45 minutes
On the
a
plane.
plane ride.
Mm.
But then the plane was at 8:45, and I woke up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's mad.
to get the bags,
Yeah.
pick the car, 2 hours to Stansted, well, an hour and a half to Stansted. Then I had some issues with the parking. Then
It all adds up.
everything became like a massive endeavor
Yeah,
going in a plane ride, in a 40 minutes plane ride, which is something that I really hate.
yeah.
But
That's why I do think 8 hours in a car is quite nice, because the only unknowns are traffic. And okay, if you hit like a traffic jam, that would be shit. But yeah, like you could get in it when you
yeah,
want. You sitting down, as long as you're not with dickheads in the car, it's like it could be quite. I just think there's like an exhausting contrast between that, and I think that must take energy out for the show. But also, it goes back to how hyped up you are. Like you're not looking forward to the show because it's just work, whereas other
yeah,
people are, right? Like, so getting on a plane, you're energized, you're excited, you've got a piece. Like, I didn't get to see the piece in hand. Like that's how busy I was. Yours, this is, and now you've given it away.
yeah.
I was like, oh.
Um, well, it is still here at my place, so
Oh,
you
right.
may
I
be
thought
able
someone else. I
to
thought you.
see it. No. But yeah, actually, I was I was already tired on Friday when we we ended up there, and I think it's the first year where I didn't enjoy the show,
Yeah,
like properly enjoy it. I didn't watch I haven't, like, not one single second of going to the contest to see the figures.
yeah.
I basically barely saw anything else other than my own store.
Yeah, I noticed that
So
because I didn't see you at all, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I think it's the first year I didn't enjoy the event. Like I barely bought anything, just blinds because I need them, and so
We're
it,
we're both
it
two
pains me a
sour
little bit.
grapes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I enjoyed events so much.
Mm.
They brought me hype for the rest of the year,
Do you know?
and that's something.
That's
Yeah, go on.
a question. Do you think it's got something to do with, how they say never meet your work colleague or something like fuck's sake.
Your work
I've
colleague.
just got Lionel in my head now. Like you've seen behind the veil now because you're a vendor. When, like, don't become a painter, don't become a commission painter because you'll lose the fun of painting. Don't do
Yeah.
your hobby, and buying is a hobby in sorts is where I'm going. And now obviously you're no longer buying, so because you're selling,
Yeah,
so you've
but
seen behind.
yeah, that's true. But if I had, let's say, two hired assistants, let's say I had two assistants, but they were not hired, and they were 100% autonomous. They didn't need me at all,
Yeah.
and I could just do whatever I wanted in the whole weekend. I would enjoy that a lot.
Yeah.
But obviously, I had to be there and help as well. So I think it's more about my head being full, and not being able to just relax and enjoy
Completely
it,
switch
which
off.
is fine. I mean, yeah, it's work, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But how did you live it? How did you experience that? Because I was the sour note of
Well,
that.
I don't think it's going to be much more positive from myself, to be honest. I feel like I really, really enjoyed meeting people, and Faster Race Car with Larking, Blue Fangs, Roman, Andy, and Jamie from Cult of Paint were probably the highlights. Which I think like it kind of says a lot that I didn't see the models at all. I didn't even do a once over on the models. Lionel was obviously Lionel, which means he's like Lionel. So I'm doing all of it. So it got. I think I kind of made I got to use my gimbal, and I've been wanting to use a gimbal for like 4 years, and now I've kind of done it. I'm like,
And you are that's it. That's
yeah.
the right experience.
I'm basically mentally switched off now from filming. Like, I don't need the 6K camera, and it's not £6,000. It's 1080p, 4K, 6K. The file resolution. Maybe for Golden Demon, I would still be okay with doing it, but I feel like a lot of this stuff was recycled from last year. I don't know. The most fun I had, except for those interviews, was sitting down and talking to the guys from Discord.
Yeah, same. I mean, for me, it was also the highlight.
So I'm thinking for next SMC, I'll just work the stand, and then if there's 3 of us on the stand, then you can go for 3 or 4 hours, go and check out the things, go and buy, and I can also do it, and then I'm not basically my whole experience of any event ever has been recording. It's always been let's record, and like obviously the gimbal's done and up, but I also think like you've got like we've covered the events, we've done our really like gay kind of videos on it, if you know what I mean, like us hugging and telling each other we love each other forever. Like we've done that now. So I kind of feel like I can't flog a dead horse kind of thing, It's done, and I've done it, and maybe in 5 years I'd want to do another one when stuff's changed. I'm a better but yeah, for right now, so I think I'm actually really excited about Monty. Obviously you're not going, which is why I'm excited. So I'm excited for Monty because I don't have, like you, it'd be like if you went to Monty without the models and you could just go as a true holiday. And I think I'm looking forward to next year's SMC. But obviously it's a really well organized competition. I think the general, obviously we need to talk about the judging, right? Like, but generally I looked at everyone's faces. Everybody was having an extremely good time. I didn't see any mopey bastards
It's still my event. Like I consider SMC the event where I will not miss it, and it's a very well organized event. Everyone's there. All the brands are there. Yeah, we have to be there, and I know I'm able to enjoy it if I prepare somehow differently. Probably not going to the contest, which I didn't need this year, and I don't think it helped. Like
because of
it didn't bring any positive. It didn't bring any negative.
Yeah,
like I really don't feel it. But yeah, we'll talk about it.
I enjoyed I did thoroughly enjoy Albert's, like, is it visceral, like his real reaction when he saw your name on bronze. I can't remember what he said. I actually laughed out
remember.
Loud. Yeah, I was recording it, I think, or no, I didn't. I think because I hadn't expected you to move in bronze, I didn't have it set up yet. Yeah, it made me laugh. But well, I think I'm conscious now that we've said that we didn't. You, me, and Lionel. Like Lionel was like, it's too quick. Because he came on like the morning that you came, and he obviously left a day before you did. And he was like, it feels like I wasn't even here, and blah blah blah. So I think also the veneer here is that like we didn't enjoy it, but that's not true because we did enjoy it maybe, or we didn't hate it. It's not like this big negative thing. My feelings of SMC are more like I feel sadness that I wasted an opportunity more than like
yeah.
Because obviously also I got to know my best friend ever, Jamie, who's bald. So I know him, right? So that's like a positive. And obviously Andy, we spent a lot of time with, so it was really nice from that capacity to spend more time with these guys that you know and you see them every year, and also John Keys and like Cognac, and there's loads of people actually that I've not spoken to much, and I got to meet them more here. So actually that's not true to say I didn't enjoy it, because I think I really enjoyed the show, and I really enjoyed like going to dinner with them, getting the ice creams, meeting Blue Fangs, like people that you've wanted to meet for a while. And I think, I just realised I did really enjoy the show. My only sadness was like the lack of, the missed opportunity by, if I didn't have the cameras, I could have spent even more time with the best parts of the show, which was meeting all these people.
Yeah, I think what you mean is that you enjoyed the people on the show, but not the show itself, which is maybe the part that you missed. Same as me.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my even if I was not having dinner with a lot of people and stuff, because that's me. I had my fair share of talking to people.
Yeah.
And that's covered for me. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But then that's the looking at the models, the looking at the stands, new releases, all these things, the little thing that I missed.
Yeah, that's what we normally do, right? Yeah. And then this time we didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I do think we could actually re-record this whole podcast now with the positivity that we've just slapped on instead of the first. How long were we been recording? Hold on. 20 minutes. Okay, so we did like 17 minutes of negativity. But yeah, no, so thinking back, I think the show was really good. And I think everybody enjoyed it. And I just wish I would spent more. So, but I guess that's just a learning curve, right? So next time I do it, probably don't take the big camera, probably don't have all that, like, I've got to record all the stands, everything. It will just be, I'm there for fun, which will be nice to do.
Yeah, I think, well, remember the other day that I said that that it seemed, or what if we were falling out of love with the hobby?
Yeah.
And I think in some capacity we are, and which is fine. It doesn't mean that we are not able to get back to it, but probably we have to take it somehow differently.
Yeah. I think we spoke about it as well before, about with our dynamic of switching from large scale to 32 mil.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's because it's sad that we haven't played in it's only been 6 weeks or 7 weeks. Literally feels like forever.
It feels like I haven't played in ages.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because when you go from like once or twice a week on average to like nothing, and then you play against some questionable people, is how I would define those people. I really thought that guy was different. Like he's not. He's a clever cheater. Anyway, I did message Juan Diaz about doing some 32 mils for Dragonhead. I just don't know how we'd do it when all I really want him to do is Elder. So it's like I could pay him like loads of money, and he might not even want to. But anyway, I think that's just part of our journey, isn't it? Having like fallen out of.
Yeah, I think so. Because I think we all have different motives and how we like, how we are in love with the hobby. Like, I think I had a very strong relationship with painting and the hobby and the whole thing about contests and stuff. I loved it. It was I literally took energy for the whole year going to one contest or two. And now, I think I had a couple of years where I didn't have that energy. But I think it's because this energy, I have it when I go to Walden Demon. Maybe because it's something new and it's something that we all do together and we hype up together. And in this case, I don't think we hype up together.
No,
if you know what I mean.
agree. Only Lionel's on that journey actually at the moment, I think.
But not. He's on the journey of painting, but not on the hype train of the event. Like he doesn't care about buying models. He doesn't care about all the stuff we none of us do, right? So it's impossible, I think, for us to get hyped.
Yeah.
And sometimes I envy people that is going to SMC for the first time or second time, and they are like
mad
freaking
hyped.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've freaked out because it was such a exciting opportunity to spend time with everyone, but not from the painting competition. I think it's like I think also like for people who are experienced and have won stuff, the only thing that's left is best of show, or the top prize is the sword for Albert, for example. Like competing for gold is like I feel like I can't actually say this because I haven't had but for him, like obviously he always wants to win gold, but like a difference between a gold and a silver is kind of, I feel like, not important. The sword is do you know what I mean? That's the thing that. So
of course,
I think when you go for that higher level shit, like you everything else will become a bit more jaded, like and like
I think it ties a little bit with what we talked last week, that a lot of people actually loved. I had a lot of comments in the event of people saying how they enjoyed the philosophy behind contests. Like we talking about contest, and I think this is a great example of this year's, at least, is a great example of all those things that we talked, because this year was weird. The contest was weird. There were a lot of strange stuff. And I'm not talking about mine, which, to be fair, I also thought it was strange. But that thing about getting 25 bronzes, one silver, and then I don't know, 7 or 8 golds. It made no sense, because in the 25 bronzes there were absolutely different levels. It was not like one only level. And there were things that were miles better than others. So I don't know. That was the first thing I thought that was extremely, I don't know.
Unusual. It's not happened like that before, I guess.
I'm not sure if it happened, but it needs to be a very good reason for this to happen. And I can't find it, really.
Yeah. I like, obviously we've had a lot of talk in the Discord as well about, can we find judges that like feedback or just some justification? And I think one part is like the judges are just people, so that's they'll have opinions. But on the flip side, also, like, you would kind of hope that as people that pay for the contest, you would hope for some sort of fair judging, if that makes sense. Like, you are within your right to say, this was bad and this was good, because it's a paid thing. It's not like someone's doing it for free or off their own back, you and people like Lionel, for example, last year, who I was going to say God bless his soul, but who lost. Well, he didn't lose, right? He got bronze, and he was really disappointed, but he got motivated from that, and that's, I think, because generally he could see that the voting was okay, if that makes sense. Whereas I think what a lot of people are struggling with now is, like, do I take what I got seriously, and or is it the system was kind of broken? And especially as I think most of the questions we had before on the podcast were around, like, how to deal with judging. Should I paint for motivation from the competition, or should I paint because I enjoy it? And it's interesting to see that all of that stuff that we did before the show was kind of, I don't want to say wasted, but like, it didn't apply because all this weirdness came out. And I've seen posts online from like people. I wonder if magnets get energy from, like, or batteries get energy from magnets. Like, they'll see, I guess, it's kind of invalidated all of what we sort of prepped them for. Do you know what I mean? And and now we're kind of trying to dissect it and work it out. But yeah, that was it. The post online. So people are justifying. The judges are coming out and saying, X, Y, Z, and publicly. So they're not trying to hide it. And none of it makes sense, really.
Well,
basically.
yeah. First, I want to say that judging is difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's a job that it's not paid. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not valued at any cost. Like for anyone. Like the community doesn't value it enough. I don't think the contest value it enough. That like the organization, etc. And that's maybe the point where I think we should take it more seriously, because at this point this edition left me. I was always very supportive of competitions and events, and I want to make this grow, because not only is my job but it's my passion. But this year it left me with no will to support it, in the sense of, if people is not taking it seriously, why should I?
Yeah.
And I'm coming from, like, obviously I may be a little bit hurt for my result, which is a bronze in Master Open, because definitely I was expecting more. It's not that it hurt me, like how I see my piece, because I'm happy with it. Everyone is loving it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. There was a touch of drama after the event, where people came to me and started explaining things that didn't make too much sense, and there were some.
Is that judges?
Well, I don't want to get into much detail because I don't want to get in trouble. But I had contradictory things. Like someone told me something, another one told me another thing. So one of those were lying, and it's not. Yeah. It's not like I don't give that much importance on that, but it takes me away from the contest, because it's not serious. It's not something that I don't need this drama. I just wanted there to
show the piece and
show the piece, which I should have brought it into out of competition probably if I didn't care.
I suppose you could say that, but then you would never anticipate this kind of situation. And obviously, you could argue like, oh, you're only upset because you didn't get gold or something, and ego, and I kind of disagree, because I feel like it, in a way, especially someone like you, if you put your piece into not judging beforehand, I think that sends a really weird message. You're like, I don't want to. I don't know. Like, I could read it like, I'm too good for the competition. I don't need it. I don't want to be next to everyone else's model. It would just be an odd thing, I think. Generally, you compete and you're showing your model. You're celebrating your model really by entering into a painting competition, I feel.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
You kind of you're declaring that this is something that I care about and I put my soul in. But obviously, this was a work piece for you. It's slightly different from the Golden Demon one, for example, although that was too. But
yeah, but it was a work piece. But I was very invested.
Yeah,
as you know.
Too invested. I was glad you invested. Like I really. Well, anyway, don't need to go down how much I like it. So I guess like I would love to hear about people's experiences who were happy with it, but I've actually not spoken to, and maybe just, people tend to complain about things more than they do talk, wax lyrical. But I know of at least 4 people who entered who said they are like, and I'm shaking my hand, like one of those things where people sit on them and they go up or down scales. Like people are on the fence now. They're like, I could miss it next year. And I think now obviously they've gone from World Model Expo to SMC, and I don't think one bad show, and I'm not saying it's bad, but the perception is it's bad, right? Which is, I guess, the important thing. One bad show will stop people, but you could see it becoming a bit like a Golden Demon situation, where over the years they ground down Golden Demon into just a shit show that wasn't a real competition that people respected. And before the show, I think we had, like, privately, we were saying that, like, or maybe on there, I can't remember, that there's not much difference between Monty and SMC.
Mm.
And after the show, I heard, I don't know, 2 or 3 separate people from separate groups saying Monty's so much better than SMC, which I think's reactionary. I still don't believe that painting-wise there's a difference.
I actually think painting-wise there is a slight difference. I think people
Monty,
prefer to go to Monty, like proper, like let's say professional painters or elite painters prefer to go to Monty rather than SMC.
yeah,
But there's always been weird judging as well in Monty. So it like in all contests, it's nothing like you can avoid. that always happens.
you basically
So in that sense, I think it's the same.
we need to regulate judging. That's what you're saying, and we need we need a proper.
I don't know
body.
if that would be ideal, but I think the organization, and that's obviously me talking without knowledge, and don't take my word for
from
it,
the
but
outside, isn't it?
maybe take it more seriously, because I know that this year maybe the panel was a bit more improvised or something. I don't know. The more effort the organization puts on the judging and on the contest, I think that translates with the seriousness of the results and how people value it. And I think even, for example, Golden Demon, even if it has very weird decisions sometimes, I think people trust slightly more the competition.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's more predictable, or
well, the judges don't change
in a sense.
as well, because generally the judges stay the same in Golden Demon because they work there, right? They're full-time employees, and obviously also you've got the whole controversial thing of judging the category that you're in, for example. Like I kind of
that's weird.
Yeah.
That's
I agree. It's unusual, but on the flip, like you judge like anyway,
it's I've judged contests, and I try to be as impartial as possible. Like I was actually doing an effort to be as objective as possible. But I even realized even when trying, having things like prejudged, like this piece is better, and that was me prejudging, and then realizing that I was prejudging and trying to see that for what was real. And so I think it's very difficult to be really objective, really difficult.
You'd also need to not know what your friends' pieces were, share, and
exactly, and that comes to the point where if a judge is getting a gold medal in the category where
exactly,
I really don't mind. It's not like I mind, because I don't think they are doing it with bad intentions. I don't think there's unfair play or whatever. But I think these slight emotions that you cannot realize that you have may impact the decisions. So I think it shouldn't be allowed, really,
I agree,
to be a judge and participate.
Because you would actually have to look you in the eyeballs and show the other judge what you gave them. That's the key. Like that judge will know what you voted for them, and obviously when you vote that person nothing, it's awkward, right? It's like me, I don't know, commenting on a photo online, and I know the person. I'm not going to be like, actually, this is shit. Even if I don't know them well, I would never do that. Whereas behind closed doors, you're fully open and honest, right? Like, I've no doubt that we've all bitched about people that we really still love or like, and stuff that you wouldn't say to their face. Like, and I think that's just human nature. So I think by you having you in the same category, that's probably the biggest problem. Even if the judge himself is completely honest, the other guys in that category are going to feel a bit,
weighted.
Basically. So I'm for one glad that all that happened. I think it's good to experience some.
I mean, there's a lot of drama in WhatsApp groups, and it's funny. It's really funny. It's like, I don't know, coming from a a football match that happened.
Yeah. It really is like that.
Penalty at the last second, and it's like,
What was the ref thinking?
It was not, but it
Yeah.
was. And it's funny. This is just
It's basically like Brexit but with humour.
yeah. Well, what Brexit?
Well, everyone was annoyed by it, except for the people that were voting for it.
That's pretty much serious. A football match is pointless.
That's a shame. I feel more strongly about football than I do about Brexit. So think about that.
I see.
We don't need to go down the Brexit road. I think the main problem is because I don't mind anything really ever. I just kind of get on with it. And then I realized, I think it was when someone said, you can't put your head in a sandpit all your life. And I was like, watch me. What was the saying? I think it's Rage Against the Machine. They were like, there's one of the songs where they're like, yeah, not ignorance is bliss, but like when society doesn't mind something, then the man has won, right? And I remember thinking that. I was like, I don't know, when I was 25 or something, I heard it and I finally clocked what he was saying, and I was like, that's literally exactly what I do. Like, nothing is so important from life that it would like really, really, really affect me, if you know what I mean. And then I was like, I'm really, really grateful for all the people that do care and, burn their life away caring. Because if everyone was like me, the powers that be could just do whatever they wanted. Anyway, so SMC, success or not success for you personally?
Success, yes, on the business side. No, on the personal side. Well, on the hobby side.
Hobby, yeah. Because no one physically accosted you or told you you're a piece of shit, I guess.
No, but personally, I met friends and I was happy with that. So
it is too quick though, and too many mosquitoes for me. Excluding that, nothing obviously.
Yeah, it was cold as fuck, and then there were
Jesus
so
Christ.
many mosquitoes. Why?
I think they were like, there's 3,000 people in this hotel. Let's hang out there. Like, they got the memo that, one mate created an event on Flybook, and they all just flocked to it. So I think really good event because of seeing everyone and socializing and really sad. I think actually just longer. I think 2 days longer and it would have been perfect, because then more buying time, more time to see people. What I get from a show is different from most people, I think. Yeah. Well, not real. Well, yeah. Some people, not most people. Some people. So I think that leads us into. Would you rather have Jamie? You can't say that. I think it does. I can't express how.
I don't really get that, Jing.
So at work, whenever I ask would you rather, it's like, would you rather have sex? No, would you rather watch your parents have sex every day for the rest of your life or join in once? Right.
What?
So I would ask those kind of things at work, and then
at work, yeah, the best place to ask this question.
I still think if you can't relax at work, then where can you relax? And I don't want to work in a place that doesn't want me being myself, Lionel. Lionel got fucked me.
You were saying that to Lionel.
He got so annoyed. He was like, "Fuck's sake, Jamie, what?" And then I explained, like, you know, I was like, "Don't you ever call your daughter the wrong name?" And he was like, "Only when they've been annoyed." And I was like, "Well, when you love people equally, you use the name. So it's a term of endearment." Except my aunties, I used to get their names confused, and I did not love them. So
yeah, the worst is when you say someone the name of your pet.
I've never done that. That's
no. It never happened to me, but I've seen it happen quite a few times.
That's very good. Imagine me calling someone Momo. Momo is a weird name. It was actually a character from a book that my darling wife was reading at the time. So, yeah, right. So that is when people could clock that I was going to ask a would you rather. they'd go, no, stop, you can't say that. Like what are you doing? That or I'd said like a joke, or you know my jokes are like on the topics that people don't find that comfortable.
Yeah.
So then they'd go. So this was. Hold on. Would you rather have me? Jamie, you can't say that. And that's Lionel.
Yeah. It's the impersonation. It's uncanny. Like
I studied
Lionel's there.
Yeah. Lionel, where did you come from?
What are you doing?
So I don't know if this is a good would you rather. Would you rather have unlimited access to all the workshops but miss the showcase, or have VIP access to the model showcase but miss all the workshops?
Definitely the latest. Yeah, I would miss the workshops and see all the figures. Yeah, definitely.
Because workshops take up
you can
so much
learn.
time.
Well, I only went to one workshop in my life, and it was in 2012, so 11 years ago.
Yeah, one is.
I think watching models gives you everything you need if you can understand them. Like if you can study what you see and you can understand what you see, there's no workshop that can give you that. Absolutely no one can give you that if you learn things for yourself. And that's how I learned, basically.
I was doing a poo the other day, and there's a book. I should have said shit, but obviously it's not rude. And there's a book there which has loads of animals for my daughter. And like I never ever...
Just to clarify 1 second, sorry. Just because people can enjoy what I enjoy, seeing you scratch your head with a knife. It was with a very sharp knife. He was scratching... Yeah, with a scalpel. He was scratching near his eye. Like, yeah, it's just a scalpel, something that people use to cut other people.
You use these, don't you, to scratch?
I do.
Yeah.
No, to scratch, no. I have to use them to cut things.
I also like use it to get stuff out of my teeth. Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah. It's just like it's the purest point that I have,
I see.
Once you've had an arm, a scalpel like 4 inches into your arm, nothing else matters.
Well, once one of these scalpels fell into the floor, and just yeah, exactly. Just was how do I say, stabbed the floor, and I was like, my feet is like a few centimeters away from this. This could be my feet.
Was that a naked foot?
With a flip flop. So yeah.
Yeah, straight through that toe. Yeah, you should respect scalpels, kids. Yeah. I
did cut my finger a couple of times.
Yeah, it's actually horrible.
Near the nail, where and like kind of separated a little bit.
And use super glue.
Pretty gruesome. Yeah,
they're sharp. They are sharp. Like they know what they're doing when they made them that sharp. I suppose that's why they made them that sharp. So I've never observed anything in my life really. Like until I'm ready to, then I don't. And I saw there was a parrot in this book, like as a photo, and I was like, so that's how you could paint feathers. Now I'm not saying I could apply it, but I'm saying whenever I've painted in the past, you've always said, look at stuff, learn, blah blah blah, and I'm like, but it doesn't click. Anyway, I realise that it clicks now that you can study references and take inspiration from it, and obviously depending on your level, go to how far you need to go. But it's quite nice. I think I struggle with workshops. I think I quit them in like 2018. I decided it was my last one, just because I find them quite intense, and I'm not able to just talk. Basically, like
it's like going back to
school,
high school.
Basically, like I in my head, I'm just saying, shut the fuck up, like just let me ask questions, and I think the course is, if I knew I needed, like, say I'd been stuck on something for 4 months and I'd been trying and I'd done it, I think workshops would be great if I had a reason to go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I really want to learn X, I think then it would be fantastic. But because I was just like wandering through them, they also set me up with all my friends forever. So like I met Tim, Mally.
I actually think workshops are social gatherings are literally the same as conventions and events.
Basically. Yeah.
They work for painting with your friends. It's the best way to paint with your friend.
Yeah.
And then you have a high skilled teacher that can point you in the right direction.
Exactly.
But the main thing about the workshop is the people.
Yeah.
I think.
So, I think some of the workshops I went on, they were too long in the painting. I wanted like 4 hours of painting, 5 hours of painting, and then the social. So that was probably a huge part of it, a big frustration. How long have we been recording? This was meant to be a 20-minute show. So I guess we can do, oh, my keyboard's not working. Hold on. Let us do either fast as a race car or the questions.
Okay, let's do the questions.
Okay.
People ask.
The real ones. Let me go to the bottom. Let's scroll up. So this is officially questions from. Wait for it. What did we even call it? I've also got this one. I haven't shown anyone. What are you doing there? Oh, it's Warhammer. So that's a segment that we've not done yet. I forgot I even had it. Right.
We need some music to just differentiate if you are just talking.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was the jingle, and here's the jingle for
Jamie's Diary.
Which actually I will say has been a huge request for that to come back, Jamie's Diary. So we just had to convince Lionel. Right, this was slow as a snail, but now it's just Q&A. So this is Ask Our Now or Q&A or slow as a snail.
Beep, boo, boo, boo. Low as a nail.
And of course, that's the jingle.
It's a robot.
Yeah, it's that's all her. I didn't. There's no influence there. And once again, slow as a snail.
Beep, boo, boo, boo. Low as a nail.
And if you don't have kids or you hate them, I do apologise, but you can suck my dick. So enjoy the jingle while you can. Also good to reference kids and dick sucking in the same sentence. So that's ticking off my inappropriate thing for the day. Right, where are the questions? So interesting. This is the real Q&A. Where have you gone? Could pause it and wait. So the first question is from Nick, and he just wanted to know when the right moment to fully shave your head is. Now, this is an actual fantastic question and one that I've been thinking about for a long time. As in, I remember the first time I was at work, and there happened to be a table of bald people, right? And I wasn't bald at the time. But I remember the conversation. It was at work, like it was a work Christmas party or something. So everyone had had a few to drink. And there must have been 4 out of 5 people who were just bored. So I think the organizer knew what they were fucking doing. And I just overheard, so when did you know to cut your hair? And I was like, oh. And then he was like, I think I first noticed when I looked in the mirror and I looked like a twat or something along those lines. And then another guy was like, yeah, I was 28 when I started shaving my head. And this other guy was like, oh man, I was 32. Like, everyone had these bald stories. And I remember thinking, this is weird, but I'm loving it.
What's your bald story?
Well, and I do have a bald story now. Okay, so like, I met Tina when I was 25. And I remember there was Neil, who was like the favorite gay person I've ever worked with, right? Because he was like, he's an older bloke, but he was larily gay. So everyone knew, and he was, so like he'd grab your dick every now and then, and like you'd have gay bants with him and stuff. So I thoroughly enjoyed him as a person. I still like him now. Not like him, I still talk to him every now and then now. And I just remember he came up and he was rubbing my back, and then I think he put my finger in his ear in like a sexy way. And then he was like, oh, Jamie, you're balding on the top. Did you know that? And I was like, I did not know that, but thanks for telling me. And I've never, like, before I was bald, I never had a problem with going bald. Like, it wasn't something that was a big deal. I've got another mate who hates being bald. Like, he says it's like the most unfair disadvantage that you can have in life. which I can't really relate to, but fair enough. So I was like, okay, I'll go bald. So he prepped me, and that was probably like 24 or something. And then, I don't know, fast forward to like 27 or something. And there was an Argentinian girl who came over from Argentina, and she was the designer for my sex tracking app that I built, right? And so she did illustrate. Wow, it doesn't matter. And she was a designer, so I don't know. We went for a drink or something because she'd come and she didn't know where to stay, and I was helping her. And then she was like, just out of the blue, she was like, "Why the fuck don't you just shave your head? Like, you're clearly going bald. You just need to shave your head." And obviously, this is Argentinians are like this. I think, having met two of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, no one's ever told me to do it. I've always had like shortish hair, but like it was thinning basically in the middle. And she was like, just fucking shave it. I was like, yeah, okay. And that was it. That's my bald story basically.
So you've not been bald forever. That's so weird
not.
for me to imagine you because you like I met you like this, right? To think that you were not bald,
yeah,
always it's like mind-boggling. Which obviously I know because nobody is.
I imagine, well, you're bald-born, sort of, maybe. For me personally, like, I prefer being bald. I really didn't like having hair. I used to shave it once every 6 months and then just let it completely grow out. And it was a faff, like, because then when it got longer, it would get wet and you'd have to like just push it out the side of your face. And yeah, being bald was a blessing for me personally. Basically, now all I daydream about is they invent some pill that grows hair, and I would 100% take it, but I'd still shave my head. And then so
a bit contradictory.
It'd be like, well, I don't wet shave, I electric shave. So you've got this little black stubble stuff. So I think people would be like, is he like a white supremacist, or is he like, you know, like so, you know, if I can get people to ask questions, then I've won. So yeah, in my opinion, if you're thinking about shaving your head, then you should just do it because it means that you need to, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Or you could go and like Photoshop your hair or something off to see what you look like. Okay.
Weird for sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There are weirder things, right? I'm just shifting through the questions because most of them now are about hair. So Paul has asked for me. He's one for me, Lionel, and you. So fuck Lionel. We can answer for him because I could probably get his answer absolutely bang on. But what's the benefit of attending SMC? Because I'm not painting, right? So is it social or does it motivate you to paint? I actually think I didn't touch on this at all during the SMC thing, and I probably should have because I realised we're only 58 minutes. The problem is we know that we can talk for a hell of a long time on the phone.
Yeah.
And without Lionel,
yeah.
Yeah. So in a way, anyway, I actually think that this SMC was and it might just be that this is my time, but the most motivating I've ever had a show be for me in terms of wanting to paint after.
Really?
Yes, I've not articulated because I wanted to first paint and prove it.
I see. Yeah. If Lionel was here, maybe he would give you some.
He'd be like, "Shut up."
Hard time.
Yeah, I for the first time, maybe forever, when I lie in bed, I think about models and how to paint them and what I'm going to do and come up with ideas and stuff, which I've never done before. And in my head, when I'm lying there, I can actually execute all these techniques that I'm thinking about and the way I want it to look. So it might be that when I sit down, park my bum there and try, I fail miserably. But I think
it's the first step.
Yeah. And I think I'm a lot less scared of failure. And I think that's actually primarily down to the Discord. I think I've never had a community like this before where people are posting, people are talking, we're becoming fast friends. You know, like, it's never been that way before. I think Facebook, Instagram, I've never been on it, but other than just post do you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely, yeah.
So it's 100% mainly social, and I didn't expect to get any motivation because every show I've ever been on, I've not got any motivation. It also might be this coinciding with not wanting to video anymore, and now knowing, oh, okay, I actually could paint something for a contest, and that's the main reason why I go, right? Like, so your question is, did you notice lesser known mini stands at SMC, and how can they better promote their products, which feels like a reference to ourselves, referencing stores like Mocha Blue and Sculpting Lost Minis.
Yeah, I think everything comes down to social networks and how, well, not only social networks, but also the frequency of releases. If a brand releases once a year, you will forget that brand every time they release. So it's like you have one new brand every time you release something, which is shit for the brand. But if there's a brand that releases one thing every month, and that thing every month is consistent and it's more or less on the same topic and you like it, then you will instantly have that brand stuck in your head. So, and this doesn't need to be for long. Like, for example, when brands as good as Black Sun, Ignis Art, or things like that, they started doing models that they are good, and you can predict that they will release something good. Then from the you can from the top of your head you will say those names if they ask for names of brands. And that's the thing I find more important, that the name of your brand is on the head of people, because they remember you because you are there all the time. But that's also something that not everyone can do, because there's brands that are side jobs, that are just maybe hobby brands.
Yeah, well, Dragonhead was or is. Yeah, it's I guess to have the financial clout and to be able to, because I realised, like, I've never felt like any of the models I've built are a job, but I'm spending, like, in the thick of things, like 2 to 3 hours, for example, a day, like talking to the artists, giving feedback, editing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like, oh, there's the model, here's the concept art. You know, it's pretty involved, basically.
Yeah, I think you need to be very involved to make a successful brand, but also you need maybe a plan and some worthy time. Like, I'm not saying that you are wasting it, not at all. But you know, there's way where your time can be giving you something, and times where your time is not giving you anything.
Yeah,
and knowing how to do that, I think it's important.
I'd like, or I hope that I've gotten better at. Probably not. I still enjoy it. I think that's probably the key, isn't it? When it's not a job, to enjoy the whole process and enjoy, like, first time in my life I've seen reactions to people when I've shown a new model was at that event, SMC. You know.
Yeah, I think it translates as well with what you're doing now. I keep repeating to everyone that new models that you have in line, they are like a step up, and not only because you are
digital.
You have like really good sculptors and really good concepts, so everyone that is involved is really good. But also because you are, I guess, more involved as well, and you are more careful maybe with your choices, and you know what I
have
mean.
less money. I've not got this infinite pool of money that isn't mine that I'm addicted to. Yeah, I agree. Somehow, I still think I really want to do another traditional, like, large model, but yeah, I'm enjoying, like, the cartoon world that we're creating is really, I'm involved because I'm so invested in, and I love the characters that we're building, and I can totally see them going on, and as we said, maybe a comic, or obviously eventually, you know, a TV deal with someone. So, you know, like, there's a lot there that I'm excited for, and I think I've only got 3 releases, right, or maybe 4. Although we've got concept arts that haven't been sculpted yet as well. Okay,
Yeah.
This is true, and then Lionel's question was, does he regret being a bitch? No. Does he regret not having... You know what I love about Lionel is we must be the only people in his life that treat him as an equal, because he like, ow, he's such a... He's not someone that I would... I don't know his friends to know, actually. But anyway, does he regret not having an entry to the event, or was the experience still refreshing? That's a great question. I think he would have preferred to have a piece, to be honest, because every time, even when I was asleep, I woke up once and he was like 1 centimetre away from my face, and he just said, "You fucking piece of shit, why didn't you let me bring a model?" And then I fell back asleep, so I didn't know if it really happened, but I think it did. Yeah, so
I'm sure it happened. Yeah, like it makes so much sense.
It's definitely, and he was completely naked, but he had feathers in his hair and one of those, and he was covered in face paint. So I think he would have enjoyed it more had he had a model. That, like, he's looking forward to Monty so much because he's going to have that piece finished. It's all he talks about. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if they're questions. Further asked Jamie about the... Oh, okay. I think I answered it, Paul, but custom models. Basically, Elder custom models are no different, actually, having, as it were, fan sculpts.
It's good if you read the question, though.
Oh, sorry. Paul asks how you can go about getting a custom sculpt. And then he made a joke about potentially selling your kidneys or going on Fiverr for a cheap bit of swag. Mm-hmm. But yeah, having custom is no different from commercial at all, actually. There's literally no difference. Yeah, you literally, like, I think the first one I ever did, like, I was looking on Facebook and just generally looking around, and I got some really bad sculptors to do me stuff. And then it kind of evolves, like, you see a sculptor and they might write, like, now on your website, you might be like, contact me for commissions or something, right? So basically every single artist in this industry is gagging for work. Like, they are dripping with, like, from the mouth with, like a dog, not like... because they want work so badly. So if you just go, "Hi, I'd like to do a commission, how much does it cost?" A lot of them do actually ignore you, especially at the start, I think, when you don't have a quote-unquote name. But
yeah, that's very frustrating.
Yeah, it is. But when you have that deep passion, to get Elder done, and that's how it started for me, because I was sick of Games Workshop's Elder, so I was like, let me just do my own. Irony is it didn't work out that well in the start. But yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to waste money either. That's a good thing, I'd say. Like, you will make some mistakes, and you will get sculptors who are just dog shit, and they don't do what you want.
That happens.
Yeah, and even with big artists, they get it wrong. And you're like, fuck, I'm paying you all this money, and then they're like, right, well, I don't care because you already paid me. My advice, Paul, don't pay people up front. That's if they ask for you to pay up front, go on.
And yeah, that's true. Me as an artist, I prefer not to be paid up front, and I also think that if you have something in your head and it's very clear, nobody will get it as exact as you want, because it's in your head, not in their head. So you need some way to bring that out, either with a good concept art made by you or made by another one that gets you. But it's this communication between the concept artist or the one who thought about the concept, or with the sculptor, that they need to find this real connection, and this connection is the one that fails sometimes.
I think I've got an analogy. You should treat artists like your wife. Like, when you find a good one, keep it. When you find bad ones, just get rid of them, like yesterday's dead meat. Do you know what I mean? Just nah. When you vibe with a concept artist or a sculptor, you can really tell the difference between what you produce. I actually think that's the main reason why these releases I've got coming up are better than the others. Is honestly what I think. Also, Elena's, like, style just fucking matches the concept artist. It's like, you know,
To be
like
fair, everything starts with Anna, and the concept
Yeah.
arts are like, I don't think anyone obviously with a level of scope that it's enough could fuck up those
concept art.
concepts. They are so good.
I think someone has.
Someone could
No,
definitely.
I'm sure I didn't. There was someone who started it, and I was like, just don't. Oh, it was. Well, I'm not going to say their name publicly, but yeah, it was a quite. Well, it doesn't matter because I doubt they listen to this, to be honest. But
yeah, but it doesn't.
so yeah, I agree with you, but I
Or
guess it's
future Patreon.
yeah. I guess it's props to like Anna and Elena. That so I don't know how to pronounce their names because they're Russian, but thoroughly yeah. Okay, so anyway, my only point was, Paul, if you find someone that you find that you get along with well, and I'm not talking about personally, like you just vibe on a creative, I think keep them happy, and you know, if they ask you for an extra 20%, if you can afford it,
Yeah.
obviously do it. Yeah, I think especially as I've gone through so many now, you realise just how hard they are to find. And I think that's why companies probably have lines that are all by X sculptor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
A brand cannot survive if they don't have a sculptor where to rely with. Like literally, the sculpture is where if you have a sculpture that is not sculpting, your brand's stuck.
It's a big problem. It's a stumbling block. Yeah. So there are some other questions, but to be honest, the 1 hour 11 mark, it's a nice whole number, 111.
Yeah.
So
It's a good.
do we want to wrap up?
Yeah, why not?
Thanks everyone for
We
watching.
have another episode coming up, so
Exactly. On Sunday, our normal slot, as it were. That felt oddly sexual, the way I said that. But that was not my intention. Yeah, thanks all. Thank you. And yeah, if you could share your experiences, please, I would appreciate that. Especially if there were people that went that we didn't meet. I think that could be quite cool as well. Look, it's people watching. If you've made it this far, you will see that logo is moving in real time. Everyone on Spotify, check out on YouTube, not worth it. So I'll see you later.
See you later, guys.